Rangers lose 3-2 to the Vegas Golden Knights, and I'm not thrilled by any stretch of the imagination. More so with, honestly, I don't like to be the guy that complains about the officials all the time. And I literally say most of the time when I do complain about the officials that, despite that, the Rangers have to be better, despite that, this and that. But tonight was a completely different story because it was beyond embarrassing because there were way too many missed calls. There was the Julian Gauthier, what we thought was a goal. Apparently the whistle was blown. Nobody heard it in the building. Gauthier didn't hear it. The guy defending him didn't hear it. And they call it no goal, which was so ridiculous to me. And I feel bad for Gauthier because that was a sick goal there. But we're not going to spend too much time with this one. I'm dead tired. I honestly could have done this tomorrow and just, when I'm more awake. But I just want to get this one done, out the way, enjoy the next few days off of Rangers hockey. But yeah, so the scoring opens pretty early with Brett Howden from Carrier and Kolazar. Yeah, Brett Howden just picks up a loose puck because Georgiev's rebound control non-existent there. And yeah, letting guys in the blue paint as per usual. Vegas goes up 1-0. But thankfully, the last 5 minutes of the period, the Rangers were a lot better. I thought the first line had a really solid game, all game, which we'll get into. But I thought they were generating the most chances. But then after the rest of the team really got going, and it carried over to the second period because 17 seconds in, Mika Zibanejad with a great shot from Kreider and Miller ties this game at 1 early in the second. So that gets a lot of momentum going. The Garden is electric at that point, and things start to brew a bit. The Rangers get a lot more opportunities, and eventually it leads to a power play at some point, and Kreider scores from a great pass from Mika, getting it between two guys, and then Strome also got an apple on that. Kreider deflects it as per usual, and the Rangers go up 2-1, and they have all the momentum. Then in the third period, Julian Gauthier has his opportunity. It looks like this game's 3-1. It's not. There were plenty of things. Fox got tripped at one point. I think that was in the second period, though. I'm not too sure. And then you had another scenario where someone got held behind the net, and there was just no call. And then that leads to Cooligan scoring from Hagen Howden, and Vegas ties this one. And once they called off the Gauthier goal, I kind of got the vibe that this game was going to go south. And it's not like the Rangers played bad necessarily. It's more just, I had a feeling that they were just going to choke this one and lose, which they do. In overtime, things look like they're going to go back and forth, or it was for a bit, but it looked like the Rangers really dominated overtime, and it looked like they were going to close it out there and send us home happy. But nope, not at all, as they can't bury one. You had so many opportunities. Strome had a pretty good opportunity. I'm trying to think who else had a good opportunity, but there were a lot of scoring chances that the Rangers just didn't capitalize on there. And this ends up going to a shootout, and it wasn't even Georgiev's fault because he stopped 2 of them. The Rangers just non-competitive shots in the shootout. Cabo's shot was just awful. Mika's shot right to the glove, and then Strome, awful. Marchessault with the only goal of the shootout, and I hate shootouts so much, but yeah, the Rangers end up dropping this one. They do get a point, but it just does suck knowing how well that they played, and they outplayed Vegas. So it just sucks really to lose this one. Shots per period, 12-9 for Vegas in the first. Like I said, the Rangers at the end of the first were really solid. 11-4 in the second. The Rangers dominated them there. And then 10-2 in shots for the third. I don't know if that's true. There's no way that seems very unlikely because I thought the Rangers really played well in the third and they dominated that play. And then overtime, although there were a lot of times where they were passing when they should have been shooting, so could be that. And then 7-4 in overtime in favor of the Rangers for shots. So yeah, the Rangers overall had a really solid game. They ended up out shooting Vegas, I think. No, Vegas outshot them by 130-29. In the faceoff, thought the Rangers actually did pretty solid, but unfortunately, they didn't win one of the most crucial faceoffs, which led to that second goal. Mika losing the Brett Howden, of course, that faceoff. 61-39 for the faceoffs. Special teams 0 for 1 for Vegas, 1 for 2 for the Rangers on the power play. Hits 23-12 in favor of the Rangers, which Reeves was just an animal tonight. He was hitting every single person. He had 6 hits, my God. Block shot 17-8 in favor of the Rangers, and then giveaways 3 for the Golden Knights and then 8 for the Rangers. So, in terms of how each line was, so the first line of Kreider, Zibanejad, and Kakko, I thought they had a strong game all around. They were the only ones really getting a forecheck going early at any point. And then aside from that, they were just getting good plays in the O-zone, getting some good setups. They just unfortunately couldn't, except for the opening draw, they couldn't get really anything more going than that. So, yeah, that was unfortunate, but I thought that they had a really solid night. The second line of what was now Chytil, Strome, and Lafreniere tonight, or I don't know if they played Chytil on the right wing, but whichever way they did it, yeah, so that was the second line tonight. I thought that it was okay. They had a couple good shifts, but it's just not the same as having Panarin there, of course, which, you know, why would it be? But yeah, it just was very unfortunate to see that line struggle because Lafreniere really needed to get going. And then same with, which Lafreniere had a great defensive play, though, helping out on the breakaway, which, by the way, Georgiev on the breakaways today, my God, was he on it tonight. He was stopping a lot of he didn't allow any breakaway goals except for obviously the shootout, if you want to count that, but he didn't allow breakaway goals, which was a huge step in the right direction. I thought that that was really good for him. He came up with a lot of big saves tonight. But back to that second line, yeah, they could have been better in my opinion. The third line tonight was, Jesus Christ, I'm blanking right now. It was why am I blanking? Gaudreau, Hunt, not in that order, and Gauthier, right? It was probably Hunt, Gaudreau, Gauthier for how they were lined up, but I thought they had a pretty solid night, doing good things on both ends of the ice. They had some good opportunities, especially Gauthier. I thought Gauthier had a really solid game. He had 3 shots on goal, 3 hits, so solid night for him. Yeah, I thought that that line had a pretty solid night, and I actually kind of like that as a third line there. It just, you know, that's not going to be able to be the case when Panarin comes back, although they actually could, because you could put Chytil down on the fourth line, which he wouldn't fit at all, but yeah, they wouldn't really be able to do it. They could technically, but it just wouldn't work out well because they would put Chytil on the fourth line, and then Panarin would be playing on the left with Lafreniere on the right. So yeah, that's what they could do if they wanted, I suppose, but I don't think that they should go that direction. By the way, Mika had 7 shots on goal. That is really an improvement, but there were times even then that he was passing too much, which is unfortunate because he needs to shoot a lot more. But yeah, that third line I thought was solid. The fourth line of Rooney, Jesus Christ, who was? Oh yeah, Rooney, McKegg, and Reeves, because right, McKegg was in. Really decent, pretty decent night. They had some good opportunities. Keggers had a pretty good opportunity, actually, believe it or not. But yeah, I thought they had a solid night. The defense, Lindgren and Fox, okay night. They had a couple bad misplays. Fox got tripped on one, but you know. And then Miller and Trouba were all right tonight. Trouba had 5 shots on goal. Defensively, they were all right, though. They could have done a better job on that first goal, in my opinion, keeping guys away from the blue paint, but it is what it is. And then Hayek and Nemeth. Nemeth was awful, but I think Hayek was actually pretty solid tonight. He made a couple good plays, and I remember calling his name for making some of those good plays, so not too bad there. And then Georgiev, I went over. He had a really solid night, so no complaints there. He was stopping breakaways. He was doing a lot tonight. So that's your final for tonight. Let's get to Twitter because I am dead tired right now. So let's see. New York Style Tri4 says, I hate this. The ref sold big time, but I'll take the point without Bread or Igor, man. Oh well. I mean, yeah, it's just that again, it sucks that Georgiev's been giving us such good games lately, and we just haven't been able to come through for him. Uh, but I don't think Panarin changes the outcome of this game too much, honestly. Maybe you could argue they score on that second power play opportunity they got after the goal, but I don't know. I think that overall, he wasn't missing too much from the lineup tonight. It wasn't like a glaring issue in my opinion. It was really more just like you mentioned, the officiating being so piss poor, which I hate to be the guy to complain because I hate people that complain about the refs most of the time, but when it's blatantly obvious like that, different story. But yeah, that's all we got on Twitter. The Rangers are sitting second right now, though, in the Metro as Washington surpassed them because the Rangers couldn't win tonight, unfortunately. But we're sitting at 42 points, tied with Tampa Bay and Toronto. So yeah, not too bad. We definitely needed these 4 days off, so we will enjoy that. Hopefully, the game against Montreal is played because if not, then it's going to be like a week break, which would be very tough for the guys to get back into a rhythm. So we'll see, but also I have tickets for that game, so hopefully nothing gets canceled there. But if you did enjoy this video, leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new, turn notifications on as always, and I will see you guys in the next one.